Line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, thank you.
I have just said that I was told that you were a personal lawyer to the Rawlings. I don't know if that's one of your various portfolios, but let's talk about what your relationship with the Rawlings was, and more specifically Nana Konadu and Agyeman-Rawlings.
My relationship with Rawlings, we've been very, very good friends for so many years because my uncles were actually in Konadu Air Force Base, and they were his instructors. So we had the opportunity to meet. So we connected there, and then we had a friendship. By the time I went to university, he was already commissioned, and then we used to meet quite often to discuss a number of issues.
So you knew him before he became head of state?
Oh, yes, far long before. Many people always assume that it was when he was head of state that we got to know each other now. I have known him long before he became head of state.
What about the wife?
I remember one of the big things I keep remembering about him was his heavy motorbike he used to pick me on. And we go around Osu and those areas. I remember that very vividly.
How about the wife?
Well, she is a great woman, I must say, because at that time that she really peaked and was dealing with issues of gender, these issues were not yet known much in Africa. And people got to understand her more and more when, after the Beijing summit, when she addressed the summit. And it was very, very unusual. Yeah, when she had already engaged the issues about gender and what she was involved in putting it onto the ground practically through the 31st December Women's Movement. I've had a lot of opportunities to have discussions with her, and she was very passionate about gender emancipation. And I think today, when I look back at some of the work she did, it becomes very, very important for even the research work that some of us are continuing to do.
How would you describe her role as a first lady? People say she's perhaps the best first lady ever that we've had, and may actually be the best first lady we'll ever have. I don't know. You have worked with her both in government and out of government. What kind of personality was she as first lady and also in private life when they left office?
Yeah, in culture, when she was then the first lady, when the husband was president, she was very, very clear in her mind that she needed to make a contribution. And her contribution was quite exciting for the simple reason that many people had never factored in the gender dimension to what was going on. And within revolutionary or national democratic revolutionary transformation, one of the key pillars that we need to address is gender equity. And till today, I can say, wow, I'm surprised that this lady picked up this thematic area, and that became for the organization she was doing throughout the country.
What would Ghana lose in the death of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings?
Well, Ghana stands to lose one or two things, but at the same time to benefit. We can say that individuals do not make history. They only leave their footprints in history. And Nana has very, very indelible footprints in the history of the PNDC, and particularly in relation to gender. So she has done quite a lot, and that is what we are likely to lose. At the same time, her footprints are the ones that those who follow and pick them up will actually become the future template for how we address gender issues in social transformation.
She's a mother of the NDC. except that the final days, her relationship with the NDC, both herself and her husband, was not particularly a beautiful one. As someone who is a senior member of the NDC, what do you make of the final day relationship between her and the party that she helped her husband found?
Yes, I'll be very honest with you. You know what we have? The problem we have in Ghana is second stories are very, very dangerous. There are so many things that people have said she has done, and this, I've had the opportunity of talking with her. None of them was true. For instance, everybody has a choice to make your political choices and decide how you want to conduct your politics. That is a constitutional right. So I do not see the problem with she making her choice. And then in that process of making the choice, some elements in the NDC were dealing with as if this was a rebel, this was a betrayal, this was... No. She understood what the NDC was about and how it wanted to transform the country. More than Jesus. I can tell you that for a fact. But when you transit into a constitutional democracy and a so-called permissive environment is created, what you actually begin to have is that you get to know those who were genuinely for a national democratic revolution and those who were just hangers-on, pragmatists as they call themselves. And then that's it. You run into all sorts of problems. And that's why he made that very passionate statement even before his death, that you cannot imitate another political tradition. You won't win, you won't succeed, because that is who they are. And they seems to like it, and that keeps them going. So for NDC to want to be seen making NPT as we are beginning to see in some areas, it is disturbing. Very, very disturbing.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
That's Dr. Benjamin Kunbuor. He is a former Minister of State, speaking to us about the passing of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, the former First Lady, and his relationship with the Rawlingses. Let me read now for you a statement